Well, as the SEC is trying to convince the world that XRP is a security and going after the fintech company Ripple, well, the major banks in the rest of the world seem to say otherwise. In fact, there were some recent reports came out from Wells Fargo, HSBC, Goldman Sachs, and others declaring XRP a currency. So in this video, I'm going to tell you what the reports actually said, what they were comparing XRP to, and how the banks of the world have been viewing and using XRP. Also, we're going to talk a little bit about the markets right now, specifically what Bitcoin, Dogecoin, Shiba Inu, and Solana are doing or could be doing in the near future. Some big news that just came out about those cryptos. And finally, we're going to talk about the Ethereum Merge coming up because it is slated for September, because this completely decentralized, autonomous, uncontrollable blockchain has been scheduled for a consensus merge to proof of stake in September. I'm going to tell you a little bit of news about what some people are saying is going to happen. Also, some breaking news out of the Elon Musk versus Twitter trial. The judge has sided with Elon Musk, and Twitter is going to have to produce the data and the documents revealing exactly how many spam accounts and bot accounts are active on the Twitter platform. That is going to be an eye-opener. Hey everyone, my name is Randy. Welcome back to the Late Night Grind. And before I get into the rest of these stories, I wanted to remind you that you can check out the link in the description below and visit public.com. You can now sign up and grow your investment portfolio. And if you deposit as little as $20, you will get a free fractionalized share of a stock, ETF, or a cryptocurrency valued anywhere from $3 to $300. So go ahead and get a quick return on your investment. There's a link in the description below. All right, guys, let's jump into it. So let's first start off by talking about XRP and why many banks are now considering it to be a currency, not a security, as the SEC asserts. We're going to first start off by talking about Goldman Sachs because they just released a report talking about cryptocurrencies, their uses, and how they classify them. So XRP. It classifies XRP as a currency used as a payment mechanism. Now, the one thing about this report is that it actually classified it as something similar to Circle, which is USDC, which in the crypto world is known as a stablecoin. I wouldn't actually classify XRP as a stablecoin, but I can see how they can come to that concept, being that XRP is essentially a bridge currency, which is basically what stablecoins are used for as well. However, it is still an asset at the same time, so of course, prices can fluctuate. Now, this report was labeled an overview of digital assets. And in it, when it was talking about XRP, it specifically was talking about its use, of course, as a payment mechanism, but it also pointed out RippleNet, or the on-demand liquidity system, and how many banks and remittance companies globally are now using this system. It basically was pointing out how the financial industry as a whole are turning to crypto, and they're marching towards the use of cryptocurrencies regardless of regulation. Now, worldwide, cryptocurrencies are largely being regulated. It's really in the US that the waters are being really muddied. But right now, Goldman Sachs, at least, classifying XRP as a digital currency. And they're not alone. HSBC came out with a digital report of their own. Now, this report was more so as what they called a research guide into central bank digital currencies. Now, I'm not a big fan of central bank digital currencies, and neither should you be. But nonetheless, they were actually digging deep and going into use cases, why central banks are exploring this option, which countries are exploring this option, what global adoption is looking like, and they went on an overview of several different countries. But nonetheless, they were talking about how distributed ledger technology could specifically be very instrumental in disrupting the current financial institutions and doing it in a good way. Now, the interesting part about this one was they specifically pointed out, once again, RippleNet, the on-demand liquidity system. They specifically pointed out XRP and how it is a bridge currency. And in the eyes of HSBC, it is a bridge currency that would essentially be the representation of a central bank digital currency in transit. So in other words, cross-border payments through the use of central bank digital currencies, you could have real-time settlement of this central bank digital currency, which of course, as we all know, is much faster than the legacy financial system, which of course can take days and be incredibly expensive. So HSBC, yet another huge bank, classifying XRP as a digital currency. Now, this one differing from Goldman Sachs in that they are classifying it more as a bridge currency rather than a stablecoin. And of course, joining them is Wells Fargo, yet another huge bank, talking about digital currencies. Now, their report classified XRP as more of a payment currency, and it actually compared XRP to Litecoin as well as Bitcoin Cash. And Wells Fargo, in their report, actually correctly asserted that XRP's biggest hurdle is going to be the regulations, and they're 100% right. And not necessarily because of the technicalities of what makes XRP run, but in my opinion, it's more about who dropped the lawsuit on Ripple, and thus not giving XRP the regulatory clarity that it deserves, at least here in the United States. So those three major institutions declaring XRP a currency is big news, and I'll throw on top of that BIS in Japan, one of the biggest financial services companies in Japan. They've actually been a big proponent of XRP in the XRP ledger since basically 2017. The president of BIS at one point stating that almost everything is going to be tokenized and run on the XRP ledger at some point. Some very interesting comments. So nonetheless, the financial world, I agree with the HSBC assessment in that financial institutions are marching towards cryptocurrency usage regardless of the regulation or lack thereof. So this is just another nail in the coffin of the SEC's assertion that XRP is somehow a security. And it's going to be descriptions like this that are going to be submitted in this court case and used by Ripple in, of course, the fight against the SEC, because, of course, the SEC has been fighting all along, stating that there really is no utility and there really is no usage, according to its experts, and why people would actually buy XRP. And in their view, people are only buying XRP for speculative investments. Now, there is plenty of that going around in the cryptocurrency world, and right now I'm going to talk about some of the top cryptos that have been performing very well, and others, well, and some others that have, well, some bad news that some of the top traders are now pointing to. First one we're going to talk about, Bitcoin just got rejected off of 25,000. It has been bouncing off of 24,000, seems to have been range trading. So we're going to see what the next couple of weeks bring for Bitcoin, because right now it would have to break $25,000 and break it with some conviction in order to go to that next resistance point, which would be about 28 to 30,000. So going along those lines, of course, you're going to see the rest of the crypto market move right along with it. However, there are some moving right now, making headlines. Number one, Dogecoin. Dogecoin is up 22% and has nothing to do with what Elon Musk is doing or his fight with Twitter, but it actually has to do with some of the news regarding its developments in what they called an Ethereum-friendly Doge chain. In other words, making Dogecoin more friendly and more accessible to Ethereum-based products. That, of course, probably a big reason for the price increase. In another meme coin that's making waves right now, Shiba Inu is up 34% in about the last 2 days. Now, why is that? Honestly, I have no idea. It is a meme coin. It has been developed and built out over time, but that there are now some big whales buying it. Why are they buying it? Well, that's speculation for another video, but nonetheless, in the last couple of days, some massive whales have been buying Shiba Inu. In fact, there have been 433 transactions in the past 2 days of more than $100,000 worth of Shiba Inu. So there are obviously some whales buying into it, and you can see the price appreciating 34%. So is this actually a bull trap, or FOMO, or retail traders going to FOMO into this and then absolutely get wrecked in the next coming days? I guess that will remain to be seen. But nonetheless, it's still going to move, in my opinion, with what Bitcoin does in pushing this market along, up or down. And finally, I wanted to talk about Solana because I saw several analysis now that say Solana is going to experience a crash. This one made headline news because honestly, even I couldn't believe it. Looking at some of the analysis, some of the charts, I believe that Solana is going to have a pullback. It just completed a head and shoulders pattern. It looks like it's headed south. My opinion is going to be back in the $20 range, maybe even $18 range. But there's one trader who said, no, Solana is going to be back down in the $2.70 range. Now, in my opinion, in order for that to happen, Bitcoin would have to be majorly rejected off of its resistance levels and go all the way down to 12,000, 10,000, maybe even 7,000 if Solana was to see a $2.70 price tag. I don't think it's going to go that low, but that's just my own personal opinion. Let me know in the comment section below what you think about some of these tokens and their headline-making news. All right, and finally, guys, let's talk about the Ethereum Merge because it's been slated for September 15th or around that date as to when it's going to switch over from proof of work to proof of stake. So right now, this completely decentralized, autonomous, non-controlled blockchain has been set for a merge to proof of stake. Now, regardless of what you think about the technicalities of Ethereum, there are still plenty of storylines going around about what's going to happen with this merge. There are a lot of people buying in right now that are speculating that as soon as this merge happens, the price is going to dump because it's a buy the rumor, sell the news type of event, and there's other people that are simply buying as much as they can, and they're going to do it for the long term. But then there's some news coming out that may not make some short-term traders as interested as previous. In fact, they said any Ethereum on the new proof-of-stake blockchain that is staked. In other words, the Ethereum that you buy and you stake it on that system in order to earn rewards, it's going to have to be locked anywhere from 6 to 12 months, and you won't be able to get that Ethereum out for that 6 to 12 month time frame. it's not exactly great news for at least for short-term traders and those trying to earn some rewards off of the staking. And then you have this. Right now, there is a huge community of Ethereum miners that say they are vowing to fork the Ethereum blockchain from what it is now when it merges. In other words, they're going to create a fork of Ethereum as it is now and continue its proof of work Ethereum in order to continue mining ETH. Now, I don't know how far that's going to go, but it's a growing storyline. In fact, I've seen it on many videos and many Twitter groups right now, and there is a growing number that are absolutely on board with forking Ethereum in order so they can continue to have a proof of work Ethereum to mine. Let me know in the comments section below what you guys think about all that. And finally, I wanted to drop this because the Library Twitter account, which if you're not familiar with Library, they're being sued by the SEC, much in the way that Ripple was. They announced that the SEC is now suing another blockchain company. They're going after Dragon Chain. Now, why are they going after Dragon Chain? Well, they said Dragon Chain had an ICO back in 2017, and they built a ledger that essentially wasn't ready to go and needed a full upgrade that won't be ready until 2023. Thus, the sales of its tokens in the ICO constitute an illegal, unregistered securities offering, and they are being sued. The Library, of course, said, wait, where have I heard this story before? Of course, referring to the Ethereum ICO and the blockchain that wasn't quite done and needed to be built out and upgraded into something else that wasn't ready until September. So is there a lawsuit coming for Ethereum? I don't know. I highly doubt it at this point. Seeing all I've covered on this channel about the Ripple versus the SEC case and all the players behind it, it's highly doubtful, but nonetheless, it's going to be something interesting to keep an eye on. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching this video all the way to the end, for smashing that thumbs up button, and as always, I'll see you guys on the next video.